If I never feel my heart you out again. If I never feel your tender kiss again. If I never hear I love you now and then. Will I ever make you to love? Please understand. If love you, then I promise you that I shall never breathe again. Now I shall never breathe again.
And I can't stop thinking about the way things used to be. And I can't stop thinking about the love that you made to me. And I can't get you out of my head. How in the world will I begin to let you walk right up my life and blow my heart away? Whoa, ha, ha, whoa, ha, 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 ha. Whoa, ha, whoa, ha, 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 ha. Whoa, ha, ha, whoa, ha, 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 ha. Whoa, ha, ha, whoa, ha, ha. Whoa, ha, whoa, ha, whoa, ha, whoa, ha, ha, ha. Whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, 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 ha.
Whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, ha.
Whoa, ha.
Whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, ha.
Whoa, ha, ha.
Whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, 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 whoa, ha, ha.
Whoa, ha.
Whoa, ha, ha,
Whoa, ha, ha. Whoa, ha, ha. Whoa, ha.
Whoa, ha.
Mm.
And I can't stop thinking about the love that you made me. And I can't stop thinking about the way that you used to be.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the softest place in hell is Jaden XD.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yes, the safe and softest place in hell. You know, it's where we at, where we are, where we be.
We got a box fan in this corner of hell.
Yeah. It provides, you know, a little breath of fresh air, if you will.
Yeah. Like
I still
hot
can't see you,
breath.
BT Dubs.
You said what?
I still can't see you, BT Dubs.
Oh. Better?
Okay. Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the Blackish show about nothing. It's Jaden XD. I am XD, aka I am now officially tiptoeing in my Jordans.
You are. He thought he bought a pair of 11s. He didn't, but
Okay. I don't know what numbers these are. I just know that they are
it's
Jordans.
the way you
and they
said
cost...
it like a full-blown uncle. Like, I got me some, I think they're 11s. It's like, they're not, but it's all good.
I don't know what the fuck they are. I just know they cost a lot of damn money.
Yeah. That big G
shoes.
wearing ass nigga makes money, let me tell you. Okay.
Because let me tell you something. I don't ever know. I can't remember the last time I spent that much on a pair of shoes. That wasn't for like no. Men's shoes don't cost that much.
Yeah,
unless if you into sneakers like that. You know what I mean?
Right, or you're buying like Louboutin dress shoes. But
yeah, and I barely wear shoes, so for me to have to spend, you know, and more 3 figures on a shoe is beyond me. Okay.
Yes.
I think women presenting people have different because of the fact of the different styles and the and the thing.
That's
but
not
men,
shade. That is just I spend
men and
far too
masculine
much money
presenting
on my
people.
shoes.
No. Oh, then that's a you thing.
Yeah,
No,
that's a me thing.
I know, but I definitely bought some Jordans. So who are you?
um, Jade, I bring me to this
Yeah,
episode.
I bring me. Yeah, that's valid.
I bring me.
Validisha. Yeah, welcome back to another episode. It is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
Not to be
yes.
confused with Mexican Independence Day, because
Not at
everybody thinks
all.
that's it, and it's definitely not.
Nor do Mexicans really celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
They don't. Or Taco Tuesday, for that matter.
Not even a little bit.
No.
But it is Cinco de Mayo, so it's Cinco de Mayo. What? Let's see. Oh, I just got back from Cleveland, Ohio.
You did.
Mhm.
You did.
I had to go to Cleveland to support Franiqua for the Living for We podcast panel. It was an amazing time. Met a bunch of wonderful people, and lots of love sent and lots of support, and that's always beautiful, and it's nice to touch base and meet the listeners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was nice, and Franiqua did an amazing job. If you all haven't listened to Living for We, make sure you listen to it. It's about Cleveland, about how Cleveland is the most unlivable city for Black women in America. And they talk to various Black women in Cleveland of different experiences to really shine light on those stats. And so they've done a beautiful job with the podcast so far, and I'm excited for the future episodes coming out. But it was nice to go and support and meet the team, and have some wonderful discussions, and it was a good time.
Yeah, that sounds really, really fun. Also, shout out to Fran for producing that podcast. It's really good.
Okay,
definitely,
creative director.
Yeah, definitely necessary too, because even when I was listening to Serial back in the day when they highlighted Cleveland, and there's especially, I hate when Black cities aren't livable for Black people.
Yeah.
And even though I don't necessarily live in one, but I at one time it once was, and so I
this country
I can
is unlivable for Black people.
Yes, but it's good to know that people are taking this on a locality level, right? Like taking back what was ours.
Yes,
Let's go
absolutely.
with that.
Absolutely. The night.
Yes, taking back the night. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad you had a good week.
Yeah, that was a good week. I saw
good
my
things.
grandma. That's my girl.
Yeah,
Yo, she had me dying, and I can't tell you here what she's. Well, I can't. Yeah, because
okay, don't say it, because this is also public because of this episode. This is on YouTube too.
It's fully public. But let's just say me and my grandma talk good shit together.
Wonderful. I miss doing that with my grandmother, just talking good cash.
I'm
shit
trying
about
to embrace
people
all
and
the
other
moments
people.
that we can continue to talk shit, because my grandma is 87 years old, and that's my girl. And I just be hyped for her. You know what I'm saying? She be hyped for me. Fran heard it. I called her. I said, "Grandma, I'm in Cleveland," and she was like, "You are?" And I was like, "I'm gonna come see you tomorrow, and we're gonna go to breakfast." She's like, "Oh." She's like, "I'm gonna be up at 4:00. I said, "You don't have to do that. I'm not gonna be there at 4:00 at all. Actually, it's probably gonna be closer to 11. But
there's a whole work shift between you getting up and me getting there.
You know what I'm saying? She don't go to bed. She sleep like.
Well, that's because old people need to make sure they're still free. Like, I get it.
I know. I gotta check.
So they
gotta check to make sure,
because it's a slippery slope. Okay,
it is, and they have some. I talked about it on Getting Grown this week. It was my petty peeve, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it here because fuck Cleveland Heights Police Department, and so they pulled my uncle and my grandma dropped me off at my hotel and got hit from behind, like right after at a light. Okay, and the boy admitted to being on his phone and letting his foot off the gas and hitting them. Right, so the police come. Do you know they was trying to convince my uncle not to file a police report? They were like, "No, don't file one because it's gonna make his insurance go up." And my uncle was like, "Nigga, what?"
Can I make an assumption?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Thank
So,
you. I didn't even have to say it.
yes.
Wonderful.
And they several times they were like, no, like if you file a police report, his insurance is going to go up. What the fuck does that have to do with me? So Files One
Not
Anyway
a damn
is insistent upon it. Like, no, I'm filing a report and y'all are not getting ready to bully me into not. They then proceed to request my grandmother's social security number.
For what?
Exactly. Where and what fuck do police ever need your fucking social security number?
Never.
I ain't never. And I've been pulled over. I've been in accidents. I ain't never had nobody request my social security number. I was like, that feels, I do not like that. I do not like it at all. I was like, send me the police report. I want all the fine details. I want to know the badge number that's on the fucking report. I want all of that because when I tell you I'm about to be a rabid fucking animal.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, very irritated, but the Cleveland justice system, city in general for black people, specifically black women, is just, it needs help. It needs assistance. And I don't know how that comes because this country is fucked up. Fucked up. Do you know, people will be looking at us crazy. This lady told me when we were in Europe, she was like, I don't know how you all don't live in fear all the time. And I was like, what? Fear, yeah. I said, I mean, do I always have a tinge or something when I go to the movies? Yes. If I step foot in a mall, do I feel like something could potentially pop off? Absolutely. And it's it's crazy to me that is normalized to us.
Yeah. I don't have anything appropriate to say.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is that's not right either. I'm just gonna say
it's not right, but it's okay.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge to live in America, just like I'm sure there are challenges to live in other places.
Why it is so hard to make it in America? Why?
You know,
Yes.
I don't.
No, yes, absolutely.
Because I don't want to say that I'm an American apologist. Like I'm not trying to say that I am MAGA or anything. Make it great, blah, 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 blah. No. What I'm saying is I enjoy and I love the country in which we live. There are a lot of problems and a lot of things
Absolutely.
that are done by people who run this country.
Yeah,
But
was I happy the
think-
fuck to get back last week? Yes.
Yeah. I just, when other countries tend to run their jibs, I am very much like, yeah.
This was a black woman. This was a black woman in another country. And it wasn't in a disparaging
That
way.
too.
It was just, no, I know, because that can go another way.
Yeah.
That, we've seen that. But no, this
uh-huh.
was not said in a disparaging way. It was more of
Okay.
like a, I just.
And they're right, though, because the fact that, it, like you and I just had the conversation about not wanting to go to Florida and
Right.
having to, or even now not wanting to go to Texas because of, the
Right.
gun laws and shit
Right.
like that. So in that regard, there is a little bit of element of fear. And then there is another of,
And yes, our gun laws are fucked up. And yes, we run the risk of every time we go in public, something potentially happening.
Yeah.
That was the point she was leaning towards was.
no, but yes.
And I was like,
agree.
yeah, girl,
And they
like
don't shoot up
when you
schools.
zoom out, yeah, it's fucking crazy. But just
Yeah.
it's what it is because our government is fucked.
Yeah, I was watching this show over the weekend. It was like I think it's called City Homicide, and it's an Australian cop drama. I randomly,
That's ghetto British people.
yeah, yes,
They say all the criminals went to Australia, and that's what
yeah. So the show was wild because like it's like a regular police procedural drama, but like they the lead detectives like didn't have guns.
Yeah,
It was so
nigga, they
strange.
don't have them.
They have like they had to stop a standoff. Like this old like cop that was on their team like went AWOL and was trying to like sever the hand of this little girl with a with a meat cleaver.
What I
And
say?
they didn't have
Ghetto
guns.
British people.
Yeah, they didn't have guns or anything to be like, you know, like if this was a
So
Dick
what they
Wolf
do?
show,
Hark? Like what?
it was very much like, don't do it. You're better than this. Like they talked him down into doing it, and then they just like got
But they
handcuffs.
did de-escalate it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like, yes, they de-escalated the situation, but it wasn't like it wasn't what I'm used to. If this was FBI that I'm watching, he would have had four shots in the chest, like before he
would have been him
even
and
said his name.
that little girl would have been dead. They would have accidentally shot the little girl. Like
Yeah, exactly.
and that's just what it is.
Yeah, I just thought it was so interesting and how reflective of how, you know, American, even in, you know, our police procedural dramas on television, of how vastly different they are.
First
Like,
of all, our
even-
police are not taught to de-escalate anything. The fact that police are called in for suicide calls or for, you know, for things that need to be de-escalated, they're called in for that kind of conflict and are not at all trained for that. And then they run psychological tests on them, and I'm convinced that the niggas that are loose are the ones that get hired. The ones who got too much sense, they don't want to hire them.
Oh yeah, because they'll expose the business.
Exactly. They're like, no, this is meant to stay corrupt. So we want to make sure that we get the people they're a little loose in their thinking.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of jury duty. You go in there
Which
and
we
that
should know.
nigga is guilty, please, ma'am. You can excuse juror number 237. But police, they'd be like, that's our guy right there. Hire him.
Me and my mother we've just talked all this morning. We had an in-depth conversation about jury duty because she had jury duty last week.
Yuck.
And but she didn't have to go in, which was rare because every time my mother has gotten called for jury duty, she's had to serve.
They sense her balanced spirit.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that she gets called often because she had a major case once.
What?
And like she had a murder trial once.
What? Your mama was on the OJ case? That's crazy.
No. No. We were living in Ohio at the time that happened. But no. But we had a conversation about how she was like, you know, a lot of us need, and by us, she means black folks. She was like, we need to stop skating out of jury duty. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Mind you, this is a conversation, like, I'm like, this is a great conversation to have after we had a conversation about Darius Cooks and why she follows him. And I was like, you need to stop that.
What?
And so, yeah.
Did your mother follow Kevin Samuels?
No,
Okay.
no. My mother, and you know, Darius Cooks, as awful as he is, still provides auntie like content, right? Like deep fried collard green meatballs. Like aunties love that shit.
They do. They love they love a nigga fusion. But
yeah. Like my mother made she because I stopped. I was like, did you go to a dispensary before you did this? She was like, no, you know I don't smoke. And I was like, okay. She made Dorito crusted chicken tenders.
that is the highest shit.
You see why I had to ask.
We're going to start with 2 eggs in our Doritos bag. Next, we're going to add a little bit of milk. There we go, not too much. Next, we're going to close the top of our bag and lay it down flat. And using a rolling pin, we're going to beat this down. Pick that up.
That's high as fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it is. And I told her that. You could tell. I'm sure she'll listen to this
what's
episode.
going on?
Ma.
Because my mom texted me the other day. Hold on. She sent me the YouTube link to Afro Man's Because I Got High. Official audio. I heard 3 verses and thought of loved ones. And I said, why are you listening to this? I told you I heard 3 verses. I told the guy that was enough, but I wanted to send it to some people I know. Why? Does it get worse? I said, it's a whole song about smoking weed. She gonna thumbs down it.
Text from Mom should be a series we do here.
I think so. I think it should.
Have people, we talk about our texts from our parents, and you all can submit stuff, because texts from Mom are what?
Or like when
my
she
mother
sends me clips of Tina Knowles talking about, I don't like her mouth. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or my mother sends
sending that to
people
me.
of my mother sends me names of ghetto people, like ghetto names. Like she'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, how do you pronounce this name? And it'd be like
Lucretia.
Califandrea. Yeah. And she'd be like, that's funny. I'm like, Ma, you can't shame
You
them.
can't
She's
shame
like, yes, I
people's
can.
name. First of all, you don't know what their parents was on when they named them. Like,
And that's why she says she believes that she can shame them because they were on something. And I was like, okay, Ma, you can't say
You
that.
can't.
But she was like, it's funny.
like sometimes
But I
they
laugh
mix
too.
the
I'm like,
grandma
oh.
and the great uncle's name together, and it's like you gotta.
Yeah. Like Ernestine.
Right.
That is a Christine and Ernest.
Or Lunel. I don't know what that's a combination of, but it has to be a combination
Yeah,
of something.
that's RuPaul even.
RuPaul.
You know?
We know that is a combination of something.
Oh, absolutely. That is a hick name, okay? But we love it all the same.
You know, black parents of a particular generation they're just problematic.
Mm-hmm.
They're just problematic.
Love them the same. They just still a little, you know, got a little asbestos still in their spirit. That's all.
You know, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Honestly, can't
It's
renovate
not.
that house.
It's not before we go to commercial break. I was talking to Garnell and Mark on Twitter, and Garnell was talking about how he's not worried about microplastics in his system because he like eats like shit out of Tupperware. Mark was like, "Girl, I bleed lead." Like
Of course, Mark said that.
like we were born in the 80s. We have like this whole like.
It's so
Health
interesting that
issue,
you bring
like-
up asbestos and lead because I'm gonna talk about that later on in
The show.
our main show. Yeah.
Okay. Before we do that, let's pay some bills.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Each and everywhere. We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, tell an auntie, tell a sibling,
Yes.
family member that they need to be listening to us because we are the laughs that you need every week.
Enemies.
Yeah, all that jazz. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Oh.
It's $9.99 a month. You get a bunch of free content, or not free content. If you pay for what you get, you know, you get your money's worth. I'll tell you
do.
that.
Yeah, dude.
We're the hardest working folks on Patreon, and you get at least 8 hours of content, additional content on what as opposed to what we do here.
As well as the video versions of what you're hearing. And if you are having a tough month, you can head on over to YouTube where you will get 15 minutes of all of that minus the pre-show. And you get a free 90-Day Fiance The Other Way recap every week until they're done next week. And also, while we're here, I want to thank everybody. I'm going to keep doing this till the end, so sorry. For listening to the Black Kitchen series thus far. Episode 3 dropped this week featuring Roland Chalmers of Roland's Raw Grains and Chef Amethyst Ganaway, aka my cousin, where we talk about the renaissance of ancient grains, fonio and Carolina gold rice. So please tune into that. Also rate and like it, and 5 stars. I don't give a fuck about your 3. You can keep that. But make sure you rate it and like it, as well as Jade NXT, rate and like us 5 stars wherever you are listening to your podcasts.
Yeah. And also read the description box wherever you're listening, because, and I can tell you you're not, because you ask questions when it's right there. So
It's written all front of your face.
if it's not in the description box, it's definitely in the link tree, which is where you can find stuff where in the description box. So, you could tell Earth signs run this show because we don't like extra questions.
don't.
So therefore, we
Be
lay
like, please
everything
follow the
out
instructions and pay attention.
This week, this episode is free on all platforms, the video version, even on YouTube, because we are covering which may or may not be the last episode of Life After Lockup.
We've had a run, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been 5 solid years, 6 solid years of this, and we are unsure of the fate of this franchise.
Yeah.
But because I mean, they ended marrying millions, so why wouldn't they end this?
Why wouldn't they end? I mean, everything has to come to an end at some point, but we don't know what's what. So in the meantime, we are going to give you the season finale of Life After Lockup this episode.
Yeah. So let's take a break, and we'll be back after these messages. Hit it, Cloud.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'll just grow old and eventually I'll die. I don't see it as, I'm well adapted, institutionalized, if you will. So I don't see a problem just existing, Eventually I won't be able to function anymore, and eventually I'll end up in a hospital, and eventually...
We're black. Life After Lockup. Oh boy, I can't believe we're at the end.
I know, it's actually
anticlimactic. Yeah, it is kind of
and a little anticlimactic with a little bit of climactic. Was there some climactic? Well, who do you want to start with? Who do you want to end with?
I don't know. Let's just do the run of. I'm gonna go in the order of which I have, because I don't have any. I'm not tied to anybody being in the end. Let's start with Kiki Wyatt Lotto.
Oh yes.
And French Montana Mills, who also looks like Umaga. And when you look up Umaga, you're like, they look exactly like. Umaga is a wrestler.
I knew it.
Thingy Roman Reigns' daddy, but he looked Polynesian. It's weird, especially with now that he's got his grown man weight back.
I don't. You're saying their faces look the same?
Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else. Maybe it's somebody else I'm thinking.
This
of.
looked like
Either
the
way.
man from Moana.
Oh yeah,
but,
okay, then maybe I'm not.
But,
Anywho,
Clam Chowder Rhode Island Mills and Kiki Tammy Rivera Wyatt.
Yeah. So I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if people really watch Pretty Woman, because so in the beginning she's trying on clothes or whatever at a Dots or a 579 situation, and he says, "Oh, so she's doing the Pretty Woman thing for me." And in my head, I'm like, so she's your whore.
I said, you're calling your pregnant wife a whore.
Yeah.
No shame to sex workers.
Yeah, but I'm like, do niggas not see the movie?
I was like, that's not the premise at all, actually.
Yeah, no. He bought her clothes because she didn't know her self-worth, so that she can be Richard Gere's
if you would have called her your little
pants,
Kim Kardashian, that would have made sense.
Little Cher from Clueless,
something that.
But no, Julia Roberts, big whore.
Yeah. I was like, she don't even have an updo, but anyway.
Yeah, no. So she's in full drag, which I think is a commitment to do so when you're pregnant. Because I would have been like, fuck that.
Although I did see she stopped getting her nails done. Totally understand.
Again, that makes sense to me. So they get ready because apparently he has a performance. So they rushing to get ready at the Hyatt, in this room with 2 beds. It's cool. And he's nervous. He's, going over his lip sync in the car.
Yeah.
Because, there's supposed to be talent reps there that, at the Cork and Thorn.
Yeah. The Cork and Thorn was the hottest nightclub
In
on the
Henderson,
block.
Nevada.
You guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hey guys, today we're checking out Cork and Thorn, a local downtown bar with live music and custom drinks. So stay tuned to watch our experience.
One of the best places in town as we take you over.
Ain't no Vegas, bitch.
Let me tell you something.
Shit
There
was
were
off the strip. Okay.
13 people in there, and that's being generous.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where production had to tell them to stand up so they look like they're filling up the space.
Now, Justine clocked it because she said later on, she was like, I think Mocha is subpar because why are there only 13
When
people
I tell you
in
I
here?
screamed.
Yeah.
She was like, as a friend, loyal. She was like, manager, subpar at best.
Now, mind you, Mocha is there. He's gushing over his boo, you know.
Remember when we talked last week on Patreon about him possibly having been arrested?
Yeah.
Apparently it was a stand your ground situation. Uh-huh. Yep.
Was he standing his ground or was the other
Allegedly,
person
from
standing
what I
their
read,
ground?
he was standing his ground.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
That's just information for you to have. and hold.
Okay. Okay, cool. Mocha, right? He is gushing over his boo. He does acknowledge the fact that he's brought his wife, which made me very, very confused. Now, he was like, he brought his lovely wife, even though she don't like me.
Yeah.
And I was like, nigga, neither do we.
No.
And, you know, he introduces Michael. He gets on stage. He does his lip sync performance. You know, it's cool. You know, it was, you know, at the end. And
Right. Justine knows all the words. Very cute. Very cute.
And he is like, you know, I've been in jail and me and my baby got married while I was in prison and I want to make it up to her. And so he re-proposes to her on stage and she says yes. And this nigga Mocha had turned into Vespa, like Vesta,
God.
excuse me.
Congratulations! I thought it would have been me.
Yes, he was very Vesta about the situation. Because he was like, he's defiant. He went against what I said. But you
Defiant,
already
nigga,
acknowledged
like a
the fact,
kid.
right? You acknowledged the fact that he had a wife on stage. So therefore, and you had this whole thing of like, you shouldn't even acknowledge, take your ring off, you know, because
Which
you're
is
trying
why
to be a
this
player
was
out
all
here.
staged.
So dumb. But he's like, now I got to dip. He doesn't know his priorities and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And that was them.
Yeah. So remember, this is the finale. So they give us a update as to where they are. The baby is due July of this year. Michael has since released a music video and booked a second performance.
Cause I feel like I just don't know nobody. Riding with that double barrel shotty. I feel like I just can't trust nobody. It's just me, myself, and I fuck everybody.
And somewhere else in Henderson, Nevada. Perhaps
At the Boot
Reno.
and Scoot. But yes,
Yeah.
that was them.
And that was them. Next up, let's move on to Lynn's, like Jerica Benton and Ernest has an arson charge. I'm not sure.
Ernest goes to the DMV.
Yeah.
I was hollering at this Game of Thrones music in this dramatic ass moment in the beginning.
Yeah. He's tearing up shit in the forest lawn area because I don't know what that area is.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't understand what was going on, but
Like their front lawn campgrounds. I don't.
oh my God. And every time they say, listen, I know this is I know this is shameful and egregious
Very-
and elitist,
they
but
are-
every time these niggas go, I was at the trailer, or did you blah blah, blah, I'm like, yo, just be like the crib.
Yeah. I was at home.
The home. Your home.
Yeah.
Our new home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is just tearing shit up. Just Tawanda. Just all by himself.
Very fried green tomatoes.
Yeah. And because he's mad because his girl lost her damn mind too.
Oh, always.
Because remember last time we saw them, she packed up her shit, her stunt boxes, and the dog
Threatened to call the
animals.
police on him, and yeah.
Yeah. So she calls him like nothing happened. Like, hey, bro, what's up? And she's like, I just want to talk.
Yeah, can you come
I
meet
just
me?
want to talk. Can you meet me at home? He's like, all right, I guess I will. And on the way back from him, you know, being on his Angela Bassett, you know,
His TV
or
attorney
Bernadine.
calls him to scam him out of a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Remember, he's already paid this man $15K. And he calls him and he goes, good news. You've been doing so good. They're willing to take your ankle monitor off. And he's like, oh, hallelujah. He goes, but it's just going to cost you a small price of $3,000.
Your soul.
And I know that wasn't for the court. That was for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was his fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, he's like, oh, this is great. I'm going to wait to tell her, you know, I'm going to surprise Lindsay, but I'm going to tell her as soon as I get in the house. Because we all know last time, him holding out what he thought it was a surprise turned out to be the demise of his relationship. So he gets home and she's sitting there and she's like, so what you do today? I'm like, girl, didn't you know? Didn't you just leave him like 30 minutes ago? And he's like, well, I was down at the trailer doing some work. And she's like, so you did nothing. And so she goes on to this whole thing. And I don't know if they give them acting lessons beforehand.
No, I think she is dramatic on her own.
Because he talks like Ernest on the movie. And number two, it's like, I'm not putting up with your crap no more. Like he also talks like Woody from Toy Story.
He does.
There's a snake in my boot.
Now this part had me cackling.
Wait, it turned into like Forrest Gump versus Jenny?
Yes, and it was like all the shit Forrest wish he would have said.
Yeah.
Because let me tell y'all something. So she starts losing her. She's like asking what he was doing and then proceeds to go off. Sounds like you were doing nothing. And I was like, where the fuck did this come from? And he was like, where the fuck did this come from? So in the course of this argument, he tells her that he's paid $20,000 for his restitution. Oh, no. She said that. She was mad because he paid his restitution off, because he's paid his attorney fees. She feels like she's doing nothing. She's doing everything in the house to take care of the house. And Blaine, Ernest goes to drag school and learns how to read because this nigga started going in. He was like, when you got out, I provided you a roof, food, a job, etc. Like nobody wanted you. Your mama didn't want you to live in the house, and I had you. And then this nigga said, and I quote, I'm not a pretty little girl sitting in prison who can get hand-me-outs. I ain't got a pretty little pussy to get me out of shit.
He meant that shit.
Your girl, I don't think this part was acting. I don't think she was expecting that. She was just like, I gotta go in the room because I'm gonna hit the shit out of you right now.
Yeah. Or laugh.
You just called me a whore. There's a theme this episode.
Yeah. Henderson, Nevada.
That's what you should call the episode.
Yeah, Henderson, Nevada. Reno. So Yeah, I wrote, I don't know what you call white hood love, but that's what they have.
Yeah,
It's like,
it is. It's very like, fuck you, Jody. I hate you, Jody.
yeah, meth love. I don't know.
Oh, that was another part I laughed at when he was like, shit is hard when you're not slinging dope, as you know.
Yeah.
But they come to some sort of toxic resolution. They say they're going to communicate. She says for the 100th time she's going to work on her attitude. He tells her, girl, you better work on your attitude because I'm about this done. I can't deal with it. And you can't be leaving here every time you get mad because that's triggering for me. And when I'm down, don't kick me, Lindsay. And then they embrace and then they hunch. And now he's saving to get his ankle monitor off. And Lindsay says if she doesn't get a ring by the end of this year, that she is going to propose to him.
Which normally I'd be like, girl, get up. But
they're
I
white.
don't care.
They're white. I don't.
Yeah.
But that meme I sent you the other day.
Yes. Yes.
It said, I'll tell you, it said, when this is what it looks like when women say they're gonna propose to men, and it was chicken feet in suit with a ring on it.
I agree. I agree with that whole.
Y'all know how we feel about that. I don't give a fuck about no misogynoir or anything. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like we said, girl, get up.
I uphold certain roles.
Yeah.
And listen, I had Chris was in the bed playing video games because whatever. And I was like, can you do something for me? He was like, yeah. I'm like, can you come take out this trash? He was like, why are you right here? I was like, can you be a man? Like, what is wrong?
Why are you being toxic in your household?
Because it gets shit done.
It does.
Being the problem with not being toxic, it leaves open to dialogue. And you know what happens with dialogue? Shit doesn't get done.
I know, because niggas start reasoning and thinking and shit like that.
Exactly. You need to cut it off at the pass. But anywho, let's take a break and we'll be back with more Life After Lockup. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Weitzel was released on bail last week after winning his third motion for a new trial, based largely on the discovery of a decades-old police report never turned over to the defense at the original trial. It suggested another man could have committed the murder, but the Norfolk DA's office continues to fight to keep Weitzel locked up.
Talking about Life After Lockup because this may or may not be the last episode of the franchise.
We don't know, nigga. Who's next? Oh, let's do Amber and Puppy because Joe from Facts of Life and Puppy.
Oh, yeah. We're on an emotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't nothing healthy.
Nothing. Loving you ain't never good for me.
Mm-mm. So, remember last time they was trying to do a run and gun where what's her face was. Oh yeah, shout out to the listener who said that was Sister who said when you
what the point with mine? Lisa, mine.
Yeah, exactly. So TC came in and everybody clears out. Queen was like, he's like, what's going on? He was like, we trying to figure out what's going on with you.
Right. Queen was like, what's up with you?
Right. And Puppy was like, no, come on.
Like, girl, calm down, Retta.
Right. And he's in there acting like nothing happened. Like,
it's fascinating.
Now, he's cool about whatever until she mentions the truck. Now, Amber is going off on him like, you called me ugly, you called me fat, you said you don't love me, you're not attracted to me, you're a horrible human being, and I'm leaving.
You called me a baby killer, you said I was a drunk.
And he was like, I didn't say that. Okay, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, well, I'm taking the truck. No, fuck you. I'm keeping it. Like, it turned.
That nigga said,
like,
I will see your I will see your black ass in court. I know he called her a hard ER.
Oh, yes.
Been
all
waiting.
sorts of gator bait and all
Oh,
sorts
yeah.
of things that he didn't even think to know to call her, but he did.
Forgetting that her mother is Rosie Perez and will run up on his ass.
And eat his vital organs. for
Yeah.
dinner. Like,
What?
like she is a certified killer. So chaos ensues.
Mm-hmm.
Because now Amber's like, I need a cigarette, and then like the girls try to help her and separate. It's just way too much going
Now,
on.
what really set her off, though, specifically, it wasn't the fat, it wasn't the ugly, it wasn't none of that. It was the fact that he denied ever blaming her for aborting the baby due to her drinking. And he's like, I never said that. Like, and that set her off. She was like, mm-mm. See,
Like,
because I've been
you
sitting
did,
up
because
here.
last week a couple episodes you told
We
us
watched
that.
you say it. And furthermore, she has been hurting horribly, not just from feeling alone during this process, but off the strength that she's like, he blames me for the loss of the baby. And now all of a sudden you gaslighting her, and that ain't cool. So yeah, it's a lot of chaos happening. She's outside smoking a cigarette and drinking beers, and I'm just so fascinated by how they navigate.
Right. It's like we need a cool down, so we're gonna like chain smoke and drink beers.
Yeah, it's very Hank of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes back inside, and she explains like first of all, TC is like, it's very hard for me to express because again, he's emotionally unavailable. I keep everything inside. This is how I do it. And she's kind of like, but this is the one thing I ask of you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I just wanted you to tell me that you love me and everything was going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're so into yourself and so selfish that you can't process your emotions to even help me, who was crying out and begging you for some little attention. She was like, I know that you're not for me and you just don't really care for me as much as you say you do.
Mm-hmm.
And and he starts to crying, he starts to weeping, and he was like, once you start, it doesn't stop. And she's like, no, if you dealt with your fucking emotions, then maybe you wouldn't have to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like breathing hard and groaning and shit because he's never emoted and or hasn't emoted in a very long time. So it's all this stuff is coming out. But she recognizes like, I can't be with him at all.
Yeah.
And they break up. She moved in with Retta and Puppy. And they take over the world together.
Yes. So after their emotional breakthrough, she says they can be friends and all that. The end is, she moved back into the house of Retta. And Puppy is selling her clothes to pay rent.
Yes.
She can't find a job.
I mean, she needed to sell them anyway. So
She did, but also she needs to get a job.
SpongeBob, the remote control's broken. Get over here and fix it.
I got a better idea. Why don't I call someone whose job it is to fix it? You know why? Because when I need a job done, I get someone with a job to do that job.
What are you saying?
yes, get a job.
We love you, Michelle, but get a job.
Yeah, free Puppy.
Yeah.
Who are we moving on to next?
Let's do Taylor and Chance. Hot Pocket.
Oh God. Okay.
And clinical
Double H.
narcissist, because I'm diagnosing that nigga and I don't care about a public platform, a lack of a degree, nothing.
Oh, Taylor and Horrible Honky.
Yeah.
Yeasty Yeti. So he wakes up at a friend's house. Remember, he got picked up because he was making a fool ass of himself in front of the Misty Turtle or whatever, the Fog Cutter, wherever the fuck they was at.
Donkey asshole.
Yeah. And I don't know where the fuck Tanya went, but he woke up at his friend's place that looks like a dog.
He does. Oh, he looked like a Pomeranian.
Like, he looked like a wolf boy. Like, if you call him wolf boy, like, I'd be like, yeah. And I know you bit.
But let me tell you something. His friend got in his motherfucking ass.
He's what the? He was like, yo, you were doing the most.
He said you were on 12 last night.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen another white man gather him.
Not like
another
that.
white man like that.
Not like that.
Yeah. He was like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's like, you got to get your. He said, you are a drunk. You got a problem. You need to go to a meeting. You need to fix shit with your wife. And if she doesn't decide to fix shit with you, you fucking deserve it. Like, get your shit together, you sloppy nigga.
Yeah. And you know he meant it because he didn't even want to talk to him inside his house. He was like, come outside.
He said, come to my porch. I go talk. I don't want your breath in my house.
Yes, exactly.
It was also the way he was like, get up, get up, get out of bed, motherfucker.
Get up, yeah. Just like my grandmother used to get niggas out the bed when she, because
because black ladies don't like nobody sleeping in their house.
Get up.
I hope we've pulled away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let niggas nap. See, that's why I be nervous. I be like, I nap and feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I lay on the couch and be like, oh my God, I was supposed to be doing something. Like, no, nigga, I'm supposed to be taking a goddamn nap because I'm tired.
Oh my gosh, not us having nap trauma because
that's what I'm saying. I really feel like I have nap trauma because I feel like I'm not supposed to. Like, I'm supposed to be doing something productive, and if I'm napping, I'm not being productive, which I know is not.
I know it's not.
No,
thing,
that's unhealthy.
Psychologically, it's an unhealthy habit to have. Yeah, I know. I never thought of it that way because I definitely feel guilty for taking naps sometimes.
Hell yeah. Like, I'm about to get in trouble. What is
that?
that?
Yeah. It's like, nigga, I am a full ass adult.
What?
Like, what am
I can eat Twinkies right now for a meal if I want to, but I'm nervous I'm gonna get in trouble with me for taking a nap. Boy.
Me, like, oh my gosh, that's so funny because this morning I was going back and forth with myself about like, oh, what am I gonna do for breakfast? I'm gonna go to Starbucks and yada yada yada. And in my head I was like, no, girl, don't go to Starbucks because you need to save and you need to, like, that's so much sugar in the morning. You should do. And I was like, girl, who is telling you? Like, who is telling you any of these things that you can't do this?
I mean, the money thing I get, we got food at home, but also, like, I'm grown. If I want to, fuck
girl,
it.
we just got paid, so no.
Friday night.
Like, I just know. I'm like,
treat yourself.
Yeah, I need to stop feeling guilty for doing that.
Yep.
And I don't do it much as I used to because it was treat yourself every day during the pandemic.
No,
now
it's treat yourself with balance, but also.
Yes. Yeah, but again, who is chastising me for making an adult decision? Me. Like, it doesn't need to be that way.
Tristan don't come home talking about why the fuck you taking a nap.
Yeah.
So what am I doing?
Because if so, then that'd be a larger issue.
Well, then we would not be together.
Exactly. Period. So, as Wolf Boy kicks him out the house or takes him to go get his car. Now he left at the spot, which he needed to. So he drives home, but calls Taylor while he's out front.
Which I did not understand. Okay, so it said 1 p.m. when his friend woke him up. Then they go out to the porch and talk. His friend said he got to go to work, so he must have some sort of evening job. By the time perhaps Chance gets to his truck, and then by the time he pulls up outside the house, it's like dusk.
I think it's still wintertime there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes, he must have gone driving around before he went to the house too.
Saying damn to himself.
So
he's like, he calls her to apologize and see if he can come inside to apologize for real. And Taylor was like, no, but I guess.
Yeah. Yo, her dry
Sure.
demeanor with that squeaky ass voice is entertainment to me.
Right. So he comes inside and she has the baby in her arms because, of course, new mom.
And after rolling around in the parking lot and sleeping in his friend's barn and
he
plops his outside clothes body on the fucking bed.
Now, to be fair, their outside dogs be on the bed too.
I mean, their outside be inside. Like, let's just call things. I don't know if them sitting on anything with outside clothes really means anything, but also.
No. But he also reeked of alcohol and cigarettes, and you were trying to hold a baby.
And you was in a bar last night, and you was like, come on, nigga, public bathrooms, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, gross. With your baby.
With your baby.
So, he comes clean about being unemployed and losing a job. And she's kind of like, I kind of figured that.
Yeah, she does the face.
Yeah, like, what else is new? Like, she's not surprised by it at all.
No, not even a little bit.
But she's like, you know what? I could do better by myself. So,
She told us that she did better as a single mother alone than she's ever done with Chance.
And we clocked that
like, so long ago.
Yeah. And so he apologizes and she's like, okay. Do you forgive me? No, I don't forgive you.
No.
So they don't break up. They're still co-parenting.
Yeah. So in the follow-up, he got a new job. And it said he's working on a new home renovation project.
Coming up next, when it comes to your home, you need the best in how-to advice. We've got the guy who wrote the book on home improvement, Bob Vila's Home Again. Coming up next on Hands On TLC.
And that is where I told you earlier, my note says he is removing the lead and asbestos from Bobby's cellar.
Yeah, because he's the only one that can do it for cheap because he's already been infected.
He's tainted. What?
Yeah. Mesothelioma. Who? Not him. But that was them.
Yeah. Their engagement's on hold, but they still live together. So whatever.
Let's move on to. We can end with Brittany and Marcelino.
Okay.
Because they are
they
anchor couple.
Yeah.
So Monique and Derek. There really isn't much there.
Now, hold on now. If you fucked up and you want somebody to come meet you, wouldn't you be a little more gracious on the phone?
Yeah.
That nigga called her like, where you at? You don't have no. I forget he wasn't raised, but also he just don't have no. No, I'm not even gonna do Nana like that because she tries.
Don't do Big Mom.
I'm not
that.
gonna do her like that because she got manners and cool. This nigga is just an animal.
It's because he's little.
Yeah, because we got two loose little niggas on this.
Yeah,
on this iteration.
all those. He's a short king, and short kings tend to act a little wild on this show.
Yeah, they have big britches. So he's going back to Cleveland tonight, even though it's tonight, and he's waiting for her in the park while she takes her sweet motherfucking time getting there.
Mm-hmm. She finally gets there in her Jessica Simpson boots.
Mm-hmm.
And I only knew that they were Jessica Simpson boots because Bobby has the exact same pair.
Yes, he does, actually. Sam Edelman also makes a version, but I know hers were not that.
No, they're Jessica Simpson. And again, no shade of Jessica Simpson shoes.
The fact that bitch is still relevant making shoes, kudos.
Billionaire.
Kudos, chicken of the sea.
Exactly. Good for her. Now, I don't know if this is a phobic statement or not I'm about to make, but I had a very visceral reaction because I know for me, don't bring my big ass to ice skating. You know what I mean? Like, I am too big to fall.
Yeah.
Monique is a woman of a particular size, but not only that, she's a woman of a particular height. So not even of her carriage, but she too tall to fall on no damn ice.
No, yeah, that would be a tumble.
That would
Monique
not
took a
work for
tumble.
her at all. Yeah, that would not work for her. She wearing a skirt and all this good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really more the aesthetic of the fucking outfit and the fact that you don't spring ice skating on somebody. Like, what the fuck, nigga?
That is somebody. That's yes. You
Like,
need
I'm
to
not
let
ice skating,
somebody
nigga. I got
know.
my knees out. Like, stop.
Yeah, I'm also confused as of what time of year it is because isn't it Chicago and like
yeah, I think
there's
it's fall
okay
because it's cold, but it's like not cold enough
no
for a heavy
snow.
coat. And it
yeah. I was confused as to what it was.
unless that was filmed recently, honestly.
I guess
I can't see
Because
Love After Lockup filming and Fall and waiting until now. Actually, they seem like a quick turnaround type of situation.
They are, because I remember when we had Tony on and Angela, I remember they were like inserting scenes from like last week.
So
like
it must
they have
be
the ability
springtime
to.
because you know how spring can be warm during the day and cold at night, and like it must be like maybe March.
Maybe.
I'm thinking March.
Well, Monique's intention of going there was to actually break up with him. She was like, I'm done with this. You embarrassed me in front of my family and friends. You have no respect for me, so I'm trying here to end it. And he's kind of like circumvents that and proposes.
Yes.
And she says yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's trying to make it right. I don't know
Whatever that
how
means.
you make anything that he did right, but and he tells her after she says yes, I'm gonna learn to be better for you. No more tears of pain. And the
So
update
he's
on
sorry for 2004.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he ain't gonna do it no more.
I'm sure it is. This is a lifetime journey. It's not just for a day's show. Are you really ready for this? Or do you need more time for freedom on your own? Where do you stand?
I'll do whatever for her.
Derek and Monique are in a long distance engagement. And slowly planning their wedding. There will be no wedding. Actually,
No.
Yeah, no, there will be no wedding.
No.
And she's on Instagram cussing people out in the comments.
And in the shade room.
Mm.
And I don't know because I don't follow the shade room.
No, not anymore.
But because,
For years
But
now.
but I do see that the listeners will show us that she's commenting on Facebook, on Instagram. That's the closest I'll get to it, so that's fine to me.
That poor lady needs to get a grip on her fucking self-esteem because
girl,
you're gonna run yourself into the fucking ground.
Yeah, and you could do better, honestly, Queen. I don't get you somebody who respects you. You know what I mean? Hey, get somebody who live in your city.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I was in a long distance relationship for a very long time, but I feel like, girl, you could have pulled this bullshit at somebody from Cook County. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, easy squeezy.
Mm-hmm.
But that was them.
Yeah.
Let's take another break.
Okay.
And we'll be back with more. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Timothy McVeigh was there. Nichols is still there. The shoe bomber, the Unabomber, you can go on and on.
Soon, this could be home to the marathon bomber. It's closed off to the rest of the world. Inside, the most dangerous inmates are sealed off.
You're designing it so the inmates can't see the sky, intentionally.
back talking about love life after lockup. Is this the final episode? We don't know.
Let's go with Strawberry Shortcake and Latino Brian McKnight.
Oh. Let me show you how I don't raise my kids.
Let me show you how I replace my kids.
Yeah. With somebody lighter. That's so wild to me.
Yo, nigga, buns.
But I also feel like I've noticed that with a lot of celebrities who have grown children and then they have a rando young baby.
Oh, like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, it's like they never had they never had a kid before.
Yeah, he's like, what? Lori Harvey made me a father. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like, no. And I think I think also Brian McKnight, like old people who have children that like that, I feel like it's like they're giving birth to grandchildren. So that's why they treat them that way.
Maybe, I don't know, but that nigga's a terrible person. Has replaced his children with new children. The same way that Sean, aka Latino Brian McKnight, aka Bubba Gumtierrez, has done.
Right. So Sarah's about to go get her fun bags installed, and so she is coming up with a plan so that her kids are taken care of because she can't necessarily rely on her husband.
Right.
So, Sean is intimating that she's getting her boobs done for Anthony, Abby's bio dad. And she's like, nigga, relax. We had this conversation before he entered the picture. I've always wanted my titties done.
I'm not doing this for him or you.
Right. This is for moi. And you can kick rocks if I don't really give a shit how you feel about it.
Really?
So, he's still heard about the whole Anthony thing or whatever. And he's not necessarily trusting of her mother because remember, she had to be in on the lie too.
Yes.
Now,
against her will.
And she did say, like, this isn't right. I'm supporting you because you're my daughter, but this ain't right.
Which facts? I'd lie for Noah too. What? Especially to a nigga.
But you gotta make this right later.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, she goes and drops Abby off at her mama house. And of course, this nigga stay in the car.
Let me tell you something. The way her mother was talking shit.
Oh, yeah. She thought she was back in the gutter.
She said, Meth Piggy said, get out the car, bitch.
Mama thought she was back in her heyday 5 years ago.
She started talking loud. It was very us behavior. She was like, oh, he don't want to get what? He offended. Bitch, be offended then, bitch. And she's like, get back in the car, bitch, if you're not gonna come over here.
Yeah. And what did he do? Get his fat
he
ass
got
back
his fat ass back in the car. He shut his fat ass up.
Yeah, it did. And ever since Anthony said how old he looked, he'd be like, this is a grandfather. Every time I see them together now, it looks like a grandfather
He'd be looking
taking his
so
little...
sad and old next to her.
Yeah. So sad and old. But yeah, little Meth Piggy got a little backbone installed.
Dude, and I like it.
At the same time, Mama got her fun bags put in. So she has the surgery. It's cute. He's worried because he gonna have to start dealing with Anthony directly.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, she can't lift or do much of anything. Like, he'll have to be a legit
and the girl know who her daddy is now. So of course he's like, it's inevitable.
Yeah. So yeah, she got her breasts done and they look great. They're to her liking. And
don't look too big.
He's still trying to figure out parenting, 30 years later.
That nigga said, is this the soap I use? And do I put it on the rag like this? When he was bathing the baby, she had to give instructions post-op from the bed. But I said, look at him being a father for once.
Yeah. And that was it for them.
Now, it was very rich of him to continue to speak on the fear of losing his family to Anthony. When you've lost a whole family, you gave one up.
Well, I said he gave one away.
Mm-hmm. Like Goodwill clothing.
Yeah, where your children's now have to shop because you refuse to support them.
I am just defending Abby's honor. I don't know this nigga like that. You have 6 kids.
Yeah.
Let me show you how your pussy works. But yeah, that was them.
That was them. Let's move on to... We have 2 more.
Oh, Scully and Eris.
Yeah, we have Cameron and Eris. I appreciated this one a lot. I am Team Cam. I am a fan of him and his family, his sisters. They need a reality show.
They need a reality show because we knew the sisters were coming, but we were reminded at the top of the episode, and my first reaction was, the sisters are coming to Russia. And then let me tell you how they bust on the screen like the Kool-Aid man, giving me all the joy that I love from them. They said, we here with it. Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yes. They roll up with some Bel Air rum chata. It's going to be a litty two titty festivity. Okay. They come in, you know, Steph and I forget the other one's name, his older sisters. And, you know, he tells them what happened around last time with Eris and not coming and her feeling under the weather.
And that's because they was talking shit as soon as they came in the door. They
were like, what's up with the disappearing ex? She's
we
just
noticed it a hobby now. This is a habit. I was like, everybody chill.
This is
chill.
a habit, huh?
She's picking up cookies for y'all.
What a wife. She said she didn't want to come. She ain't want to come here, but you gonna go to town.
Live with her. Live with her.
Take it up with her.
Oh, we will.
I'm about to call her.
Yeah, she's with a daughter to pick her up and to bring to see y'all and all that good stuff. And he comes clean about what happened. He was like, she wasn't feeling well. And so then they were like, nigga, why didn't you say that?
Why the fuck didn't you tell us that?
That was up here plotting and praying for her downfall. And here you go, like being dishonest and withholding information. So they felt really bad.
They did.
And they started talking about his drinking. And it got into a very intense sibling discussion about his antics and about how he needs to change now that he's a married man.
Yep.
And he has, not only is he married, he's a father now, and he's in a space where he cannot get in any more trouble.
Now, he is intentional about making sure that he does not get drunk in front of Lena, but he does admit that he doesn't want that to happen. But before that happens, he gets a little irate and puts his little feet into the sand, into the ground, digs them in, and he starts arguing with his sisters and putting the accountability on them for bringing the liquor into the house, when which they are not having it. They were like, nigga, you could have put that bottle right there on your bar. This was a housewarming gift, and you could have not taken a shot. That is your personal choice, and you are choosing to take a shot here. And he gets defiant and takes another one.
But as the conversation goes on, he gets more angry, and we learn that when he gets angry, it's because people are around him, all right, and he don't want to hear it. So, like, he tells us the story, or tells them a story about how he got drunk the other day, and he ended up pissing in the closet because he thought he was in the bathroom,
and he knew he had a problem.
And he knew he had a problem. So, he admitted that he's in treatment. You know, I don't know when that started, but again, he's kind of like, even with his job, he kind of just told us like randomly, like, oh, I got a job, and we're like, nigga, what?
Right. And apparently their father had an addiction issue. So
I I can gather that alcoholism is a thing in their family. They all drink. Like, I can
also tell you in the Midwest, and this is based off of my family statistics.
Oh, they drink.
They
Trust
drink
me.
boots.
When I was in Chicago, that was a thing.
What niggas throw it bike. But he does take accountability, admit that he was tripping, and he's working on his drinking. Now he takes them out to his lanai.
On the lanai.
His porch, his
patio,
and his terrace. And I screamed because he's like, my house, my house, my house, my house. And his sister go, you keep talking about my house like we ain't got houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy them so much.
Yes, put them on WeTV reality.
Then they
TV.
called him Martha Stewart's nephew. They were like, you built that? Martha Stewart's nephew. Ah!
Yeah, Montre Stewart. I was like, I love black people.
I do so much.
So they all go out to dinner at a Buca de Beppo situation. And they're having, Lena meets her new aunties and they embrace her and love her. And they're just like, you need to get my number.
She met them at the wedding.
We need to. Oh, right. Lena was at the wedding? She was at the wedding.
She was standing with them at the wedding.
She was.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, she was. But anywho.
But they the kind where they like immediately are like, I'm your auntie. You got to love me. Like they can vary that.
That's very much that. We all love. It's all, and her daddy is there, and pretty much the same day from the last 3 episodes. And he reveals via shirt that they are, in the family way. Stephanie is trying to put the numbers together to figure out, damn, you know the gender already? And so you see in her face calculating.
Like, nigga. Now, I also put 2 and 2 together that Eris was pregnant when they got married.
Me too.
Which is why she wasn't feeling good and she was coming down with something.
But I'm also, how would that have worked? Because he had just got out of prison.
Yeah, but he had been out a couple days by the time they were going to his sister's house for the thing. They had just gotten married and he had been out. So they could have conceived pretty early.
Maybe.
Now we learn also that Cameron has no couth when it comes to dealing with the service industry. But his sisters do, because Lena gets the wrong lemonade. She wanted strawberry. She got regular. And he A's the girl from across the room. And his sister punch him in the arm and says, stop that ghetto shit in here.
Wait. Did that waitress listen to a word I said? This steak is medium rare. I asked for it medium. And I wanted extra gravy on my mashed potatoes.
And I appreciated Eris's daddy too, being like, like.
Whereas, like, I got the sentiment you were trying to stick up for Lena. Whereas Sweet, however,
he did it in a very small way. He's like, I got results, didn't I? I was like, this is such tiny behavior. But they make the announcement. Everybody's happy and they clinking cookies, and Lena don't play. Cause Lena let it out the bag that both of them got big mouths and they can't hold no water, and she the only one in the family know how to keep a secret, and everybody's happy, and the baby is coming August of this year.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Love After Lockup, baby edition.
I am happy for them. I think even with Cameron's issues, he seems to be a person who acknowledges them. He needs a minute. He needs a hot second, but he seems to acknowledge them, and he's a man of action. I have to give him that.
Oh yeah, a man of his word too.
Yeah.
only issue I have with him is he just needs to tackle that substance problem and that or
that
drinking
and mitigate his reactions to things because they be too big sometimes. But her daddy said it. He was like, he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He just need to chill a little bit, but he's a good dude, and I just hope that his temper don't get him in trouble and make me have to come down here and whoop on his ass.
Yeah. And I think I don't think it'll get to that level. I think, like you said, once he figures that alcohol shit out, I think he'll be fine.
I think so too.
We have one more couple, our very last couple.
Our longest running couple.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't even say that because
longest running from the inception of Love After Lockup.
Yeah. And this probably is the end of them.
Yeah, I think it is.
So Big Cindy's back.
Marcelino and Barnes, injury attorney.
Marcelino and Barnes, injury attorneys. Call 888-8888.
Don't wait. Call
100-888-8888. Did you know that they have a Celino and Barnes the musical in New York City playing?
No, I did not, but I want to see it.
Yeah, it is. it's off Broadway.
Yeah, it's probably at King's Theater or something where Love Jones the musical was.
Oh no, it's white, so it's it's probably 23rd Street.
They host drag stuff at King's Theater. That's where you vote too. It's so fast.
Really?
Yeah. It's the last drag.
I mean,
the drag holiday show I think was at King's Theater.
That makes sense. That makes. They do everything at King's Theater. That's where they have Bring It live, like with
and Love Jones the musical.
Jesus. Yeah, I saw Jesus and Miro there.
Right.
And I saw Marshall and it was like a big Caribbean fete.
Now that is on brand.
And I thought it was weird why it would be indoors, but it was fun. But anywho, it's wedding vow renewal day.
Mm-hmm.
And her mother flew in.
Mm-hmm.
She just got off her broom. And apparently, unbeknownst to us, she is officiating the nuptials.
Which, I mean, they don't need anybody official to officiate because it's not illegal.
Because they're already married.
But she officiated in the drunkest way possible.
Yeah. That's what, but I think that's just her personality now. I think that's just who she is.
It's glitched permanently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I can't talk too much shit about anybody's vows or officiating because of our wedding. Do you promise to love her big ass forever?
I have it on video.
Oh, I haven't seen it since the day it happened.
Yeah.
I now pronounce you husband and motherfucking wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's vow renewal day and there's fake drama like Britney's missing and again, whatever. They get on the beach, they have the ceremony, is cool. That's not where the drama lies.
But wait, because yes, it's fake drama with her being late, but when she was at the house, if you notice, Britney has had a tinge of doubt the entire time of this thing. It's not so much so where she's like, I'm gonna leave. It hasn't been that, but it's just been like, she's not overly hyped about the vow renewal because it doesn't seem like she's fully convinced that they are fixed, right? But she wants to take a step towards fixing themselves. So even when Cindy was asking her at the house about it, she was like, I'm happy, but that's fleeting. Happiness comes and goes. And I'm not sure how invested Marcelino really is still. It feels good right now, but you could feel that tinge of doubt all throughout her mood.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if it's intuition or what, but we get a 2 months later. I hate a 2 months or 3 months later.
Child, because the vow renewal, his brother came. He set up the beach. It looked like he was all in. I didn't expect this from Marcelino. I thought Marcelino was, I don't know. I don't know. I think once whatever clicked in his mind, I think it just it hasn't been able to be unbroken.
Yeah. So 2 months later comes and we see Brittany in a confessional, and she lets us know that her and Marcelino are separated because she went through his phone again, and she saw that he's been having same scenario conversation with other bitches, and he's just stepping out on her.
And they pan to Marcelino in this, where are they now? He doesn't seem remorseful at all for his actions.
He wasn't remorseful the first time.
He wasn't until he was. It was very much like, I did fuck up, but I'm gonna be better. And then, but this time he was like, well, it looks like I probably went through this experience with Brittany and having the kids so that I can say that I was married and had kids, but I guess it's just not for your boy. And yeah, it seemed like he felt zero remorse for the ways that he affected his family.
Yeah. And it seems like he kind of is repeating the same cycle that his father did. But he's with family in Florida, and they're like, we're going to take care of you, look out for you, and this next chapter in your life. And, Brittany's just kind of out on her own, raising 3 children by herself.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they're co-parenting, and I don't see him being a bum father.
No, I just think that, his pride and ego was shattered so hard that he could not recover.
Yeah, I agree. His ego is so large. It's so large to the point where he can't see the forest for the trees, and how he fucked over somebody who really did love him. And her trajectory, when you zoom out and look at it, of 5 years out of prison, because we got her fresh out, and this was 5 years ago, and her trajectory has been incredible. She's an incredible mother,
most successful one out of everybody.
Like, took her career successfully, is a wonderful mother to her kids. She wasn't successful because she had a marriage that worked out and had kids. She's successful because of the ways that she handles herself, and actually strives to want to be a better person.
Better human being, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, I just hope that this isn't a deterrent. I just hope this is just a speed bump on her road to true happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want her to revert back to her old way, especially now that Giovanni's father isn't in the picture.
I don't see her doing that, actually. And I know you can't, we're all human beings, and everybody's capable of anything, but I don't see that. She seems to be so invested in loving her kids wholly and in a healthy manner, and really wanting to be better for herself. Like, she has a sincere desire to be better as a person for herself, and I hope that continues to be her driving force.
I hope so too.
I root for her, and I don't say that often.
Yeah, but yeah. But yeah, that was them.
That was them, and that was the season finale of Life After Lockup.
Or series finale.
We don't know.
We don't know, but a lot of shit can happen in Henderson, Nevada.
Thank you for tuning in. We will see you all next week.
Yeah. Until next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yes, we're moving on.